Welcome to the deep dive. So you might be seeing this more, people working multiple jobs. Maybe you are, maybe you know someone who is.
Yeah, it feels like it's everywhere suddenly.
It really does. And today we're going to dig into why. We've looked at some recent analysis on this.
Trying to understand the forces behind it.
Exactly. And get this right now, 8.9 million Americans have more than one job.
Wow, 8.9 million.
Yeah, that's apparently the highest it's been since 1994. Makes you stop and think, right?
Absolutely. That's not a small number. It really shows, just how widespread this has become. It's not some fringe thing.
Not at all. And, the first thing I thought was, okay, this must be mostly folks in like lower paying sectors just trying to scrape by.
That's the common assumption, yeah.
But here's where it gets kind of interesting. The data. It actually shows over 50% of these multiple job holders in 2024 have a college degree.
Over half, really.
Yep. And that's up from 45% back in 2019. So quite a jump.
That's significant. It sort of suggests that maybe a degree doesn't automatically guarantee the kind of financial stability it used to, at least in some fields.
Right. What's going on there?
Well, think about it. We've seen this huge increase in college graduates, right? Almost double between 94 and 2022.
Okay. Yeah. More graduates.
But that big increase in competition, it hasn't always led to salaries growing at the same pace across the board. So you have more qualified people, but maybe not proportionally more high-paying openings in every single sector.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's break down the why a bit more. What are the big economic pressures pushing people, degree or no degree?
Well, the big one is just costs. Everything's more expensive, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers show essentials like food and housing went up about 2.8% collectively in just 1 year.
Oof.
And if your wages aren't keeping up with that, well, something's got to give. It puts a real squeeze on budgets.
So inflation's a key part.
Definitely. And then you also have situations where maybe employers cut back hours. So even if your hourly rate is okay, your total paycheck shrinks.
Yeah.
And you need to find that income somewhere else.
Right. It's like a double whammy then. Costs go up, maybe your hours go down.
Exactly.
But it feels like there's another side to this too. Like the way work itself is changing, it almost makes it easier to juggle multiple things.
Oh, absolutely. The whole gig economy thing has been a massive shift. Think about platforms like, Uber or Fiverr for freelancers.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They've really lowered the barrier, haven't they, to picking up extra work here and there. That just wasn't as easy, say, 20 years ago.
True. And remote work. That has to play a huge role.
Huge. Being able to work from home,
Yeah.
it makes managing, say, a part-time remote gig alongside your main job way more doable logistically.
Less commuting, more flexibility with your time.
Exactly, to remove some of those old physical constraints.
Okay, so we've got the pressure cooker of rising costs and maybe stagnant wages, but also these new flexible ways to actually find extra work.
That sums it up pretty well.
But I wonder, is it always about just desperately needing the cash? I feel like I know people who do it more strategically.
That's a really important point. It's not always pure necessity driving this.
Right.
For sure. Some people are definitely using multiple jobs to maybe hit financial goals faster, like paying down debt quicker or saving for a down payment.
Or maybe exploring something else, like a passion project.
Exactly. Or testing the waters with their own business idea, dipping their toes into entrepreneurship without giving up the security of their main paycheck. It's a way to diversify. Sometimes.
Okay, so it's complex. It's not just one story. It's this mix of economic hardship for some, combined with new opportunities and maybe even strategic choices for others.
Precisely. It's hitting a wider range of people for a wider range of reasons than we might initially think.
So wrapping this up, what we're seeing is this significant rise in people holding multiple jobs, driven by both pressures and possibilities, and it's affecting folks across the educational spectrum.
Yeah, that's the core of it.
Which leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? With so many people juggling multiple roles. What does this really say about our traditional idea of a career? The one job, 9 to 5 model.
Yeah. Is this just a temporary phase we're going through because of current economics? Or is it something more permanent? The fundamental shift in how we work and earn?
Definitely something to think about. How might the future of work look different because of this?
Food for thought, for sure.